All right, Coach. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you here in this space. Like you just exude this energy that represents our tribe. Everything from physical beauty, spiritual beauty. Your energy is high. And I feel like you just add that to being a newly certified life coach. So congratulations,
Yes.
first of all.
Thank you. Thank
Tell
you.
us who you are and kind of how you got here. Let's start there.
Okay, awesome. So, good afternoon, Dr. AJ, and thank you for asking me to join you today. So, my name is Andrea Harris, and I am the single mother of two beautiful kids. Mark is 14 and Brianna, who is 10. I have aspired to be a life coach since 2019. I got started and then I stopped. And then I found Dr. AJ, which was an awe moment. Um, and so have been super excited to begin my journey again. Um, and I am extremely thankful for what Dr. AJ has put into place for women of color, women of faith. And so it has been an awesome experience. Just to let you know, I found Dr. AJ I was on Facebook, and I will say that it was God sent because, again, I started my coaching journey back in 2019. I did group coaching. I realized through Dr. AJ that what I thought coaching was, it truly is not. And so I am here today. Again, just I think it was God sent because I wasn't looking for her, but found her and started my journey again to become a coach. So super excited.
So let's talk about that. So, like you said, you weren't looking and you find me. That's usually when the good ones come, when you just like even searching, and Jesus is like, let me bless her real quick, real
Mhm,
good. So
mhm.
you found me, and what kind of like kept you coming back? Like, what was that draw to stay?
So again, it just popped up on my timeline. I listened to maybe three or four of your lives. I joined one on a Friday evening. I just happened to be dropping my son off at his dad's house. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be on a live with Dr. AJ. So I joined from the car on my way back from Stone Mountain, Georgia. And it was just a really good call. And I said to myself that evening, I'm going to do this. I am going to stop playing and I'm going to do this. I am going to invest in myself, in my coaching business, and I am just going to step out on faith and do this. So, again, I don't know how you came across my timeline, but you did. Um, and you spoke to me, you spoke to my spirit. Again, you are a coach who looks like me. What you offered, I felt at the time that I needed. And so again, just decided to jump fully in and invest in myself to do this. And I did. And I'm so glad that I did.
I like that you remember the day when it was. I'm like, oh, that's sexy and special. I wonder what I said on that video. I need to go like repeat this process to get more little Andrea Harris as certified life coaches. This is so exciting. So, because you said you started and you stopped and you're like, okay, I'm ready to start again. And this is speaking to me. She looks like me. She's teaching what coaching actually is because I thought it was what I thought it was. And we
Mhm,
have a lot of people that come to us. They think they've already been coaching,
mhm,
and so I'm trying to get them over to the other side to be like, nah, sis, that really ain't
mhm,
what you've been doing, but doing it in a loving way because all of y'all say that. So many of
mhm,
our certified life coaches say, I thought it was one thing after your training,
mhm,
found out it was something else. Um,
mhm,
So what was that day that you were like, okay, let me move forward, check this out, because I already predetermined that I was going to do it based on the live that I wasn't looking for, but spoke to me, like got you to yes?
Again, I think that what I coach on is definitely my life purpose. Again, God spoke to me back in 2019 and I rushed in. I rushed in. I did not wait for him to guide me. I rushed in. I paid a lot of money for group coaching and got very little out of it. Became extremely frustrated because I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? Website, business cards, like webinars, like how do I find clients? Like I was just all over the place and so quickly became overwhelmed. And that was back in 2019. 2020, I didn't move. 2021, you popped up on my timeline, and and I was like, okay, God is speaking to me again. It had always been there. It had always been in me that I wanted to serve, that I wanted to help women, and I know that I wanted to do it through coaching. And for me, it's not so much about, I said this to my pastor, and some will probably cringe. It's not so much about the money more than it is about helping women that look like me and have gone through what I have gone through and wanting them to carry them through. So I would say, Dr. AJ, that again, finding you serving women, African American women, you being a woman of faith, me joining the call that Friday, it was the perfect marriage. It was like, again, I'm going to do this. God is nudging me. God put this woman in my path. And so it's time for me to move. But this time I heard his voice telling me to move. And so that's when I decided again to go ahead and just do it. To go ahead and sign up that evening and was super excited. I think I could barely sleep that evening. I was like, I can't wait to get up tomorrow morning and get start on this journey. So I think that that's where I got started.
Wow, I love like the excitement because I'm always there with you guys. Like I remember
Mhm.
that night that you said yes, and I'm like, I know I'm acting cool, I'm not like showing it, but I'm screaming on the inside like she finally said yes, because I had seen your name pop up several times, and I know you guys by your handle name, so y'all have to keep
Yes.
names on Facebook forever. Because then
Yes.
I'll be like, now who is it? One of our coaches, Sonja, she's in Arizona, and
Mhm.
her name is very unique, just like my full name, Andrieka. So when
Mhm.
she registered, I said, I'm going to learn how to pronounce and spell your name because I know what it's like to have a unique name.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to try to nickname you. I'm going to respect your government name, 'cause that's what I want people to do for me. And so when she would pop up on the lives and after she got certified and when I would send her emails, like I always, Sonja, I still know how to spell it. And one day, this new name pops up, new picture pops up on my live. She's chatting with me.
Mhm.
And I'm like, who are you again? And she's like, Dr. AJ is so considerate. I was like, why did you change your name? I didn't know. What is sunshine and rainbow? Like, I didn't get it. So again, y'all can never change your face. Or if you do, don't get mad if I'm like, who this? New phone, don't
Yeah.
recognize. Right. So I know your name kept popping up and
Mhm.
like, man, I know the repeaters. And I'm
Mhm.
like, God is continually calling them back for a reason. And that's why I say I wish I could remember like that first Friday video you seen. Like, what did I
Yes.
say? Because I need to
Yes.
do that again to keep speaking.
Mhm.
Because a lot of our coaches do find me on Facebook Live. They do come back. One of our
Mhm.
very first certified coaches, Camille, she's like, I was laying in my bed minding my business and God showed me your face and I jumped on your
Mhm.
page and then I'm on a live and now I'm signing up. So I love that process because it's very organic. You
Yes.
weren't necessarily targeted with an ad or you felt like
Mhm.
you were being spoken to. And I love that the Father came behind you and confirmed it with his voice. And you're
Yes.
like, okay, so it's not just me telling myself to do it and repeating something that I've already tried before. It's not just this beautiful brown skin girl telling me to
Yes.
sign
Yes.
up for her class. But the Father came in and put what Tasha Khan say, that's my girl, we used to go to church together. She said, put your hands on it. So he came in
Yes.
and nailed it on in and was like, it's time. And you said yes, and I'm screaming inside, and you can't sleep. And we're both so excited. And you're like, okay, now the journey begins.
Yes.
What did that look like? Like that next morning that you did finally get up, you got access to your tools, you're ready to dive in. What was that day like?
It was a Saturday. Like I said, I listened to the call on Friday, paid for the course that evening. And Saturday, did my regular errands, but couldn't wait to get back home to log on to start the training course. And so, first of all, I would like to say, it is well laid out. It's easy to navigate. It's self-paced. And so, just reading the materials, listening to the videos, again, the structure of the course is so easy to navigate. Um, so from the very beginning, the welcome video, I was like, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. And I just continued to navigate through the course. I liked that it was self-study, self-paced, but I also enjoyed just the structure of the course and you know not only the videos where it was you talking Dr. AJ, but also where there were other women going through the course and watching them interact and being able to like, oh yeah, yeah. And then just the nuggets that you leave on the pages of the training guide are nuggets that I can carry into my coaching business. It's going to be things that I'm not going to copy word for word, but that can be leveraged when you're speaking to your audience or you're asking your audience questions. And if I could just circle back for a moment, when we talked about, that group coaching that I did back in 2019, you really brought it home for me what coaching is and what coaching is not. And that was not shared with me back in 2019. So, again, I thank you for your wisdom and your knowledge in helping me now to understand truly what my lane is versus the lane of a therapist or a counselor.
That is my pleasure, and it's my sweet spot because, as I
Mhm,
mentioned, I meet a lot of women who think they've already been coaching. I meet a lot of women who have been certified in other
mhm,
aspects, and I am a trainer to my core. Not only
mhm.
do I have a degree in it, but I love it. Like I'm
Yes.
just having these moments where I'm looking at old training pictures. I'm like, oh, look at the chairs, look at the table. I remember how it was to walk in the room. I remember when I was expecting the first one to get here and kicking them out at the end, like, y'all got to go home. I know we had fun, but I love
Mhm,
what I do. And as a result, I definitely pay attention to the learning styles of people and
mhm.
information that's already out in industries like the coaching industry, where opinions are what really give space to this industry. But it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that everyone's a trainer. It doesn't mean that everyone has the core principles of the coaching industry.
Mhm.
I'm not
Mhm.
the end all be all, but child, I'm good. So
Yes. Yes, yes. Speak it, claim it.
I am good. I've been told. So I just reviewed a 2-hour focus group that we did before I launched this training online. And we
Mhm.
opened it up to everyone, men, women, black, white, different religions, different cultures. And there was a black man in our class, and he said, "You are great at this." And I said,
Yes.
oh. So to get confirmation from people outside of the audience that I'm now serving, which are Black women of faith,
Mhm.
this has happened time and time again. And we have a blog article out where another company is featuring us because they too can confirm that we're walking in the calling and in our anointing. I'm good at this. This company is really helping people. The women are shining through. And so I say that because a lot of the stuff that's out there is space filler. It is filled with
Yes.
advice and opinions and fluff, and it's not that people are necessarily trying to scheme and scam or
Mhm.
lead you astray. They just don't know what they don't know. But instead of
Mhm.
saying, I don't know, or I shouldn't be training yet, they still put something out. They do take people's money. They give them the bare minimum or something they've heard that wasn't correct. And so it's like a cyclical effect.
Yes.
And so now here comes the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC, certifying Black women of faith online in one day. And I studied for years under the founder of the industry and with multimillionaire ministries. And I still found gaps in ways that we could make it better. And I thank God that he is behind it all. So that's why I love working with Black women of faith. And I also love the Black women of faith like you who are at a place where not only have you invested in yourself before, you're like, I tried it again. You didn't shut down and say, no, I already did it. It didn't work, period.
Yes.
You're like, no, I did it. It didn't work in that year. The second year came, I did nothing, period. So thank you for owning that, because you're not blaming anyone. And then the third time it came around, it's like, okay, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, now you're ready. The third time is a charm. And not only did you say yes and not hold a grudge against what had happened back in the day, but you also whipped out your credit card. You didn't ask for a hookup, a discount, scholarship, payment plan. Let me barter. You were like, nah, send me the link, sis. And we literally on camera sat and worked it out, because if anyone goes and watch the replay to this live with me and Andrea, I was given the wrong code to get registered. I wanted to bless her real good. And she was so patient with me. And we got it figured out. And it left some mystique, because people were like, well, what are they talking about in the inbox? Why does she have to go and inbox her privately? So it showed that now you're elevated at this VIP status. You're talking to me behind the scenes while I'm live on camera with everybody else who also knew that they should have been signing up. But that's why we're here today, because you said yes. And you also harvested the energy of your sister coaches, because I remember our last podcast episode interviewing one of our graduates, Coach Carla. You emailed me back and you were like, okay, that was the episode I needed to hear. Let me go finish this training, because now that I have it, okay, I have it, and instead of letting more time pass by, because while it is one day, you can get finished in a day. Most people do take advantage of the fact that it is self-paced, life happening. But now you're hearing that women are finishing the course and you're like, all right, Dr. AJ, I'm on my way. I'm going to finish. And that's exactly what you did. So after you heard the last podcast interview with Coach Carla and you said, I'm going to do it, what was that energy like? That, like, we know what the spark was, but how did you kind of keep yourself going and making it through the process? Like, fill us in on what that journey was.
Oh my goodness, your conversation with Coach Carla, I was like, I was actually sitting out on my back patio. It was hot outside, but I was like, I just sat there and listened. And I was like, I can't even move. I was drenched in sweat. I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. This could be me. And so it just gave me a burst of, girl, what are you doing? And it didn't take me long to finish the course. It's not that that was it, but that was sort of like the burst or the push that was like, you don't need to delay this another day. Like, go ahead and knock out what you need to knock out. And then I love the fact that you have to take what you have learned and you have to apply it at the end. You talk about a sister who was nervous, even though I've been at this since 2019 and I've talked to various people. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous, just to, again, just confirm that you actually learned what was in the pages and what was on the video. So having those two coaching calls just sent it to another level. So that day, your conversation with Coach Carla, it was everything about that conversation. It was just the relationship that the two of you had, the conversation itself, the discussion. It was just her motivation, your motivation. It was just, again, it was just spirit filled and spirit led. And I was like, I'm going to finish this course because at the end of the day, I can put a check mark next to I completed this. I invested in my business, I invested in myself, and I have my certificate to show for it. I'm a certified life coach. And that's all the motivation that I needed that day, was to go ahead and finish the course.
Man, I'm gonna go back and listen to that episode again. You got me
Yes.
breathing fire, like, yes.
Yes, I was.
So where do you think the nervousness came from? Because you got here, you said yes, you got access, and you got the push, but you were still nervous going through the course. What were you nervous about?
I don't think it was so much nervous going through the course. I think it's, the final step, which is, the two coaching sessions that you have to complete. And I think the first one being the community coaching session. The young lady that I selected is a coworker. And so, there's a level of expectation you have of yourself, or that you think that the other person has of you. And kind of giving them sort of the foundation as to, we're holding this call because, and a life coach is, but actually getting on the call because I had learned something new. Again, what I thought coaching was versus what it truly is. So nervous in the sense that, this is new. This is how I'm supposed to facilitate this call, this conversation. You have to put on your listening ears. You have to be able to state back to your client what you heard them say, to validate, and so that they can hear what they said. And so it was just a lot going on. But I tell you, in that nervousness, I rated myself kind of low on the first call, but that second one, I tell you, when you hear back from your coaching client that they had an aha moment and that you actually made them stop and they shed a few tears, like that was my second call. I was like, oh, I can do this. God, you got me. I can do this. So it was just, the initial call was nervousness. The second call, a little nervous, but once I got that validation and confirmation from, the other coach, the coaching client, um, and she told me what a great job I had done on that call. I was like, you know what? This is exactly what I needed. And I have to attribute that to the pages of this book, your videos, and just you as a coach, as a trainer, that you did that. Yes.
And that's what I was gonna say about that. Like, you're not giving yourself enough credit first. Let's start. Because number one, you went and found someone to practice on. You weren't
Yes.
depending on me to do it. And
Yes.
believe it or not, I used to go find the clients and bring them back to you guys. But I was like, I got to teach these ladies how to fish.
Yes.
And we
Yeah.
still have some coaches who are like, I can't find anybody. And I'm like, go try and then come back and let me know if you can't find anyone. And I promise we can join forces and we'll find you someone. But they always go find someone, because we do have people in our orbit, our network, in our like space that we maybe not even think of from day to day, who would be willing to just be a guinea pig. And they're nervous because they're sharing stuff with you. You're nervous because you're doing it for the first time. But like you said, you have the guide you through the sessions. You have the activities to do with them. You know how long your sessions are supposed to be. You know what questions to ask. And now you're building this trust. And at the end of the day, it's a beautiful, beautiful conversation. And I used to be privy to those conversations. I used to sit behind the scenes on platforms like Zoom, on mute, and listen. But some of the coaches were like, well, Dr. AJ, we feel like we're on stage and we have to perform because you're there. And I'm like, child, I'm listening to the other person, ain't study you. But I know my coaches are good because of the information that's provided. And I can tell when you do the work, how the confidence builds. And so
Yes.
I also appreciate the fact that you took me up on the offer to say, okay, when you get stuck with finding someone, reach out. So your second practice client, you're like, ain't nobody responding. So now I need you, Dr. AJ. And live on camera, another coach that's gonna finish shortly after you, I said, Coach Raquel, I just called her out. First, I took volunteers. I was like, you know what? Let's match up. Let's keep this train going. Carla motivated Andrea. Now
Yeah.
Andrea can motivate Raquel, who is going to come
Yes.
after you. And so I wanted her to now be like you and have that in the moment experience of, I can do this. I see myself doing this. This is what coaching is, and kind of validating what's to come for her. So that was an aha moment for me to say, each one teach one. So I had to let you guys go fly and find your clients, and now you guys are inspiring each other. And so the fact that you had another coach who is soon to be certified shortly after you saying, girl, you good.
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
It went so well. And I was so excited about that match because, like I said, it was like that trickle down, that sisterly love, and showing how our community of legacy builders, this is the reason we're called the Ladies of Legacy when you guys get certified, because we're building legacies together.
Yes.
And so you said that just kind of like hyped you up and took you to the next level of like, I got this. This is a fellow coach, and you kind of knew what you were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So any like aha moments that you remember from any of your practice sessions or the training as a whole, or one takeaway that you would kind of advise people to look out for when they say yes to the training too?
Nothing to look out for, everything to look forward to. Again, as I previously stated, you can't go wrong with taking this training. Again, the handout, the guide, the materials, as Coach AJ just stated, I mean, she gives you the questions. She even goes as far as to give you examples of what a text message can look like to ask your client if they are open to getting on a free coaching call. Um, and the experience to do 2 coaching sessions. Where else would you get that? So I would say if I had any aha moments, there would probably be many. It would be, again, the opportunity to do the 2 coaching sessions. It would be the fact, again, I cannot say this enough. What I was taught initially that coaching was, I spent a good few months developing a program around thinking that I was providing people with advice and guidance, and that's not what coaching is about. And so my aha moment was like, no, that's not what coaching is. And here is what coaching is. And let me give you some examples. And let me even go as far as to give you, the, what is it called? The wheel of life. So again, these are tools and resources that aren't just used as a part of the training, but can be used moving forward in my coaching business. And again, it's not taking the information as it's written in the guide, but using it to where it is applicable to my coaching clients in regarding my niche. So again, in short, I would have to say, Coach AJ, there were plenty of aha moments during this training. And I'm just so happy that I invested. I cannot state that more than enough. It takes investment, it takes time, but if you're truly serious about the purpose in which you're here on earth, if you have the passion and the desire to serve, um, you should take this course because you will get so much more out of it than what you're paying.
And you mentioned at the top of our time together that you were kind of already diving into the space, already putting yourself out there as a life purpose coach. So now that you're a certified life purpose coach, what is your next step? What does the future hold for you, certified life coach, life purpose coach?
So it's really diving into developing my business. So now that I know what a coach is and what I'm supposed to do as a coach, it's building my business, and it's building it's basically building the foundation. And so again, I think that you helped me to kind of pour the foundation, and now I just have to kind of start building the house. And that again is building the business. And so, that's everything from, you know, honing in on my niche, defining that and who my target audience is, making sure that what I am offering is something that is needed. There's nothing worse than coming up with a niche and nobody needs what it is that you're offering. So it's really diving in and looking into all of that and building the business, website, funnels, um, staying connected to my sisters in the group, and giving back. So as you stated, I want to be there for other coaches who are coming through. So the next coach that needs somebody to serve as a client, I'm there, because you have given so much back, as well as the ladies that are a part of the Facebook group, and so I want to do the same thing. So it's just continuing to build my business. Mhm.
So if you had to leave a future Black life coach who is sitting on her balcony
Mhm.
and she's listening to the podcast and she's inspired maybe to say yes and take the next step, what would be like something you could say to encourage her on her journey?
I would say, sister, just do it. No, that's the Nike term, but just do it. Again, we can say all day long, oh, I'm going to pray over it. I'm going to see what God says. If God placed it in your heart to serve, and He has placed it in your heart to serve as a coach, supporting and helping others in whatever your given area is, then just do it. And this is the place to do it. Um, Again, where else can you go to get certified as a life coach in one day? But knowing that you can take a little bit longer than one day, hopefully, not too much longer than one day, because you definitely want to get your certificate and begin working on your business. But, you know, just do it. Invest in yourself, invest in, your professional and personal development, and go help whoever it is that you were born and placed here on earth to help and to serve. It's all about service. And so this course will get you there. Again, it's well laid out. Um, and you have the support of Dr. AJ as well as other coaches. And I don't know what else to say other than to just do it. Invest, invest, invest. You will be so happy. And I just know that, you have to set goals for yourself. And, you got long-term goals, you got short-term goals, but what are you doing to work towards those short-term goals that will get you to where you ultimately want to be in life? And again, what is God's given purpose for you? And if this is it, then go ahead and get started today.
Today, like you said
Yes,
earlier, you
today.
don't need to delay this another day. And if you've listened this far to this episode, you're probably wondering, where do I go get started, Dr. AJ? I too am now inspired. Check out blacklifecoachcertification.com. Again, www.blacklifecoachcertification.com. Andrea Harris, certified life purpose coach. I want to say thank you so much for being here and sharing your energy, spreading your joy, inspiring others, sharing your experience. You even gave me some quotables and notables, and as they used to say, tweetables. And my favorite was that there is nothing to look out for, but everything to look forward to. Girl,
Mhm,
that
mhm,
spoke to me, and we're going to leave it at that with my famous quote. Remember, there is someone somewhere They are waiting on you, future Black Life Coach, to walk in your destiny so they can walk into theirs. Because when you impact one life, you're going to impact generations. Do like what you see Coach Andrea do today, which is let your light shine, because you'll also give others permission to do the same.